So why is man not a monkey? After all, Charles Darwin said that we were. Well, let's get this straight to start with. I'm not decrying the work of Charles Darwin. He was a brilliant scientist, and the theory of evolution does actually hold true for nearly all species if, and this is the big thing, if they are not tampered with. And the main reason for me saying monkey is not man is the genetic reason. Now, everyone's heard these claims that chimpanzees are share 92 point something percent of their genes with human beings, and in one case 98 point something percent of their genes with human beings. And as a statement, that is absolutely true. However, the latest results show something completely different, because what these people were doing with their initial comparisons was that they were counting the types of genes. We've got all the types of genes that a chimpanzee has got, and a couple of different ones. But they didn't look at the order that they were put in. Oh dear. As soon as you look at that, the difference is enormous. Anyhow, let's start off with something rather obvious. Here are the human chromosomes, roughly represented, and here are chimpanzee chromosomes. Do you notice something? Possibly not at first sight, and this is the way that they are always shown for some very peculiar reason. It's part of an effort to hide something, and the effort to hide something is that chimpanzees have an extra pair of chromosomes. So we can see up here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and so on until you get to 22. There's X, there's Y, and there's M. M stands for mitochondrial, which I'll get onto in a minute. Now, things are alright. Look at 1, there's 1, oh, 2. Hang on, we've got a 2A and a 2B with the chimpanzee chromosomes. Yes, chimpanzees have an extra chromosome pair. Now, why is this such a big deal? And the reason it's such a big deal is that there have been no successful instances ever of animals containing different number of chromosomes successfully mating. So let's say we did descend from a monkey, and all the other primates incidentally do have this extra chromosome. Let us say we descended from a monkey and there was a chance mutation, and somehow, and this is the theory, these two genes, 2A and 2B, which really should be 2 and 3, but hey, they actually merged and added themselves mysteriously together. Now, what would happen when that creature mated? The answer is it wouldn't be able to. So how come we've got man and woman, and each of us has the same number of chromosomes, which is 1 fewer than a chimpanzee? That is a question that takes some answering. Now let's have a look at what's called the chromosome 2 fusion site. And we can see that it's the same two genes, but with a load of stuff inserted, including a novel protein production. And novel doesn't appear anywhere else. And that gives us something to think about. Now if we look on here, this is something that was produced by the people that did the newer genetic comparison. And here's just one of the really quite astounding things that they found. There is a particular gene that in monkeys occurs all over the place, and its ancestral source is here in chromosome 10, and there it is, and that gene exists in all the monkeys and in man. However, in the monkeys that gene also appears in loads and loads of places, as indicated by these pink triangles. However, in man it only appears once. Now, this sort of possibly deliberate editing might explain why, despite the fact that man has one fewer chromosome pairs, so he's got less DNA than a monkey, he's actually more complicated, because he's got the same amount of genetic material but there's fewer repetitions. That kind of makes you think, doesn't it? Now, mitochondrial DNA. Mitochondrial DNA is passed down purely through the mother. It comes with the egg. It's part and parcel of the package. You marry a woman, you're marrying her mitochondrial DNA, and all your children will have that mitochondrial DNA. And this is very useful for genetic historians, because it means that they can look at a sample of the human population and decide where they come from and when that particular population appeared. And a lot of surveys were done, and they were done repeatedly, because everyone was scratching their heads, because all the genetic surveys on mitochondrial DNA said that humans first appeared 250,000 years ago. Not millions of years, 250,000. We are in effect a brand new animal to this planet. Doesn't make a lot of sense really, because all the paleontologists are saying, oh, we got human fossils going back X million years, 5 million years, 8 million years. You've got Java man, you've got the Australopithecines and all the rest of it. No, monkey DNA. They were advanced monkeys. We are something different. And here's another thing that happened. The size of our cerebral cortex, the bit that you use to think with. Now, in a squirrel, it's about the size of a postage stamp, maybe a bit less. In the average chimpanzee, it's about the size of a postcard, a small postcard. In a gorilla, it's about the size of an A4 sheet of paper, roughly speaking. In man, it's 4 times the size of an A4 sheet of paper. Now that is one hell of a big jump. One hell of a big jump. And we're expected to believe that that happened over 250,000 years. It doesn't make sense. Now, what does all this mean? What all this means is that the chances are that man was created by genetic manipulation, by being or beings unknown 250,000 years ago. And this is why we're not very well adapted to our environment. If we had been around from the start, we too wouldn't need clothes because we'd be covered with hair. We wouldn't have all the problems that we have with our environment. Our feet still wouldn't be adapting to hold us upright because our feet are an awful design compared to a primate. Primate feet work really well. Ours are still changing. and there's a lot of evolutionary evidence for the fact that our feet are still changing. So we haven't been on this planet very long for some reason. Now, these are all my reasons for saying that man is not monkey. We are, if you like, at the most cousins once removed. We can see something of ourselves in the monkey. But then, if we were to meet our maker, we would probably see quite a lot of ourselves in them as well. And I hope this has made you think, and if it has, please like, please share, please subscribe. And don't do all the things that monkeys do, because we're not damn monkeys, understood?